panic appears to be building in Washington as the White House pushes a record defense budget while the U.S. war effort against Iran continues to suffer. Trump is now asking for $1.5 trillion to keep America's war machine running, even as the administration pairs that military surge with deep cuts to domestic programs. The budget push is framed as an upgrade for military readiness and infrastructure, but it is already colliding with criticism in America. That larger move would come at the expense of housing, health, and other social programs, with proposed cuts affecting civilian spending lines.
If all these other people were fighting wars, we can't take care of daycare.
The White House is reportedly seeking a record defense budget of nearly $1.5 trillion for fiscal year 2027, marking a dramatic increase in military spending as the U.S. remains locked in war with Iran. According to the reported budget request, the Trump administration wants a steep jump in Pentagon funding for FY 2027, with a proposed increase described as one of the largest in modern U.S. history. This would amount to roughly a $445 billion, or 42%, increase over the 2026 defense budget, according to figures cited in reports on the proposal. In contrast, the White House is reportedly planning a $73 billion cut to non-defense spending in the 2027 budget, highlighting a sharp shift in federal priorities. The proposal would boost funding for munitions, Navy expansion, and Donald Trump's Golden Dome missile defense project, while also prioritizing broader military readiness. The White House is also reportedly seeking military pay raises of around 5% to 7% under the FY 2027 plan. The budget would add more than $19 billion for federal law enforcement in the coming financial year, even as other domestic areas face cuts. At the same time, funding for IC would reportedly remain at 2026 levels, including support for 41,500 detention beds. The administration is also said to be considering reconciliation as a way to push defense and homeland security funding through Congress more easily. The notable budget cuts would target clean energy grants, the IRS, agriculture, and education, reflecting the White House's broader plan to shrink large parts of domestic spending. There would also be spending cuts across a range of environmental programs at multiple federal agencies, extending the proposed rollback well beyond a single department or initiative. On April 3rd, Trump said the United States could not focus on daycare because it was fighting wars, a remark that drew attention as debate over federal spending intensified.
I actually said to them, I said to Russell, don't send any money for daycare, because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up. But it's not possible for us to take care of daycare, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things. They can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection. We have to guard the country. But all these little things, all these little scams that have taken place, you have to let states take care of them, Russell.
The historic defense push comes amid the United States' ongoing war with Iran, which has continued since February 28 and has already imposed major military and political costs. Notably, the U.S. military has suffered multiple setbacks during the Middle East campaign, fueling questions over whether Washington is trying to spend its way out of a difficult war. In the latest reported setback, Iran shot down a U.S. F-15E over its airspace, and 2 crew members were said to have ejected from the aircraft. Reports said 1 American pilot was rescued, while the fate of the second remained unknown as rescue efforts unfolded under fire. Helicopters and a military aircraft sent for the rescue mission were also reportedly hit by Iranian forces during the operation. After that, Trump said the downing of the U.S. aircraft would not affect peace talks, even as pressure mounted on his administration to respond. However, those peace talks then appeared to collapse after Iran reportedly rejected Trump's 14-point proposal. Iran has also repeatedly warned the United States against launching a ground invasion, threatening severe consequences if American troops enter the country. Our conditions for ending the war are completely clear. We do not accept a ceasefire, rather we seek a complete end to the war, not only in Iran but across the entire region, and the provision of comprehensive guarantees that such aggressions will not happen again, as well as the payment of damages and compensation that must be paid to the people of Iran due to the extent of the harm inflicted on them. I do not think they would dare to do such a thing as ground warfare. They would face very heavy losses. We, of course, do not seek this. We did not seek this war, and we did not start it. But we have defended ourselves, and done so strongly. The losses inflicted on them, their facilities, their equipment, their radars in the region, their aircraft, their strategic aircraft. You saw what happened to the AWACS or the refueling tankers. We know very well how to defend ourselves. In ground warfare, we are even more prepared and better equipped. We are fully ready to confront any threat of a land invasion of our country. We hope they don't make such a mistake. Naturally, the guarantee of no war in the future of one or two countries is not sufficient. Experience has even shown that guarantees by the UN Security Council are not sufficient either. Ideas have been proposed by our partners on how to create guarantees for a complete and lasting end to the war. These ideas have been conveyed to us, and we are reviewing them to determine what guarantees could be effective if the war is to end according to Iran's conditions. Artificial deadlines serve no purpose other than making matters more difficult, and as you have seen, such deadlines have already been extended twice. Therefore, I believe the U.S. president must change his approach. One cannot speak to the Iranian people with the language of threats or deadlines. The Strait of Hormuz is in fact located within the internal waters of Iran and Oman, not in international waters. Therefore, it is natural that the interests of Iran and Oman must be considered regarding transit through it. At present, from our perspective, the strait is fully open, but it is closed to ships belonging to countries that are at war with us, which is also natural. In wartime, we cannot allow our enemies to use our internal waters for transit. Yemen has its own policies in this regard. Just as they previously took actions in support of the people of Gaza and Palestine, if they now decide to take action, that is up to them. We are not asking anything of anyone. We know well how to defend ourselves and do not need anyone in this regard.